'Twas the day before the Vikings game, and I'm still kind of pissed off. You got guys like Mike Florio, who think Carson Wentz is damaged goods. He'd rather have Jared Goff. It looks like we have an early candidate for Dingbat of the Week. And if you thought we was finished, you better hit him with the meek. Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedque. It's the bitter Dingbats. Let's go.
What's up? How you doing, Adrian? You got me pumped. I'm ready for tomorrow's game. And I'm also ready for eggnog, but I still got to wait a little bit longer for that. But
yeah, we got another month until egg time. Nah, I messed that up. Eggnog time, yo.
Yes. But this is a huge game tomorrow. Huge game. I believe that this game, a win tomorrow, changes the course of this season for us. I think this is the starting point because I believe we can win the next two games after that. But we got to win tomorrow. And this is a big game.
This is the crossroads for both teams. Both of them. I mean, for the Eagles, it's about getting home field and getting a 2 seed. And right now, if you lose this game, you go to 2-3, and you've got an uphill climb the rest of the way. And I'm telling you right now, if you're 2-3, I'm thinking 3 or 4 seed at this point. And if you get a 3 or 4 seed, you're going to be underdogs again throughout your playoff run.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to go. I know a lot of people think they were going to own the Rams in L.A. because there'll be so many Eagle fans, but I think there's a lot of fans that will all automatically become Rams fans.
They're joining. They're getting on the bandwagon, huh?
Exactly. So anywhere you have to go is hard. It definitely is hard. It's not impossible. It's happened before, but it's hard. But like, imagine if you had to go to like Green Bay. That would be a hard place to win. Minnesota, I don't know. I think we could beat Minnesota. Minnesota, I don't even think they'll be in there. Chicago, though, could be a hard place to play if they keep it up.
Oh, dude, I would love Chicago. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, you love them?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, wherever, home field advantage is what we want. And that's what we got to still be fighting for. So this game's important. It's important.
Any playoff game with a young quarterback and an average offense, give me that.
No, that's true. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But
all right,
it's good.
Yeah, let's kind of get into this game. How are we feeling? Obviously, I kind of did the preview yesterday, so we won't really make this a preview per se. We'll just kind of get into a bunch of different things here. But how are we feeling? You know, I don't know how I'm feeling. I don't know how to make of this game. I mean, I have a confidence because I believe that this team is resilient. I still think that they're this team that I believe they are. So my guess is that they're going to climb out of this rut. My guess is that last Sunday was the wake-up call. Maybe that's my heart speaking, but I just don't see them playing this bad all the time. It's just not going to happen. Your O-line is too good and your D-line is too good. I would hope that this Sunday is the game that they just get it all out of their system. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I am too. And that's how I felt yesterday. But I am a little concerned about the Vikings passing game. That concerns me a lot. Thielen and Diggs and Kyle Rudolph, that's what I'm worried about. But, I mean, look, this team has not played really one good game since week 1 of the preseason. It just hasn't. They're due to come out. They're due to explode. And I think another week back for Wentz, another week back for Alshon will help a lot.
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny that we mentioned that because, like, at this point, we don't have any more excuses. We can't pull the excuse card. It comes down to the offensive line and how they play. And they made a switch this week. I don't know how I feel about this switch. I was wearing my Whiz Wit shirt yesterday, my yellow shirt that looks like a goddamn mustard container. So they're making a switch to Isaac Seumalo, who they originally replaced with Wiz last year because he allowed 4 sacks in a game. I don't know about this move. I think Seumalo sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this move definitely scares me because everything I see from Seumalo doesn't give me any confidence at all. So, yeah, I'm very concerned about this, and we're just going to see how it plays out, but it definitely it's a fear of mine. I think there were a lot of other guys who were a lot worse last week. You know, Peters wasn't good. Lane Johnson wasn't good. They all weren't good. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope this isn't just like we're going to blame it right here and that's it. And that's how we're going to fix everything. I don't think that is going to work.
Yeah. Well, one guy who we shouldn't be blaming is Carson Wentz. But there is a guy out there who thinks damaged goods. Did Mike Florio, did he get to you? Did it work? Did Spike Eskin, did he get to you?
Oh, you know that pissed me off. You know that pissed me off. You know, I was texting you, dude, what the hell, man? Like, Carson Wentz, to me, was like one of the only reasons we had a chance in the last game. I mean, what do you want the guy to do? He's getting hit every time he throws the ball. Go watch some of the videos last year. Look how much time he has to throw. And look at it now. Completely two different things. I thought Carson, for a second game back, I thought he did pretty good. I'm not going to lie. He gave us the lead. He gave us the lead in overtime. We had a lead in overtime. What more can he do?
I mean, Michael, it's very evident that I should probably take your job, but that's another subject, another day. Okay, when you have a 3rd and 21 and you hit your wide receiver in the face, what do you expect Carson Wentz to do?
Yeah,
my God. When you're driving down the field, you're picking up first downs, and then there's a holding penalty on your offensive line, and you punt the football. Is that on Carson Wentz too?
Yeah.
When you're throwing the ball 50 times a game, and you're running play action, and he can't even get to the top of his drop, is that on Carson Wentz? Come on, Michael.
Yeah.
Get your head out of your ass.
Double moonwalk his ass, Adrian. You need to take his job. I totally agree with you. And let me tell you,
you got needle dicks like him, and then you got ESP, Elliott Shore Parks, another dingbat who's still supporting Jordan Matthews, who doesn't think the Eagles need to get a wide receiver because they have the explosive playmaker in Jordan Matthews.
Yeah. These people, what are you going to do? I tell you what, though, when you watch that Tennessee game, Eagles had Carson under center. You knew it was a play action fake, like almost every time. And they blitzed constantly and got every time, every ball.
It was disgusting, dude. Do you know what the final stats were? It was 14 hurries, 11 hits, and 4 sacks. That is just wretched.
You can't let your quarterback get hit that many times. How many times did he get hit week 1? It's just way too many times to have more balance. This team definitely needs more balance. And I don't know if it's of his back problem, so many, but you know, Sproles has done nothing for us. Sproles is like, I think he's out this week, right? I mean, it's like he was supposed to be a big contributor, especially on special teams. I don't think we can at this point. Sproles, Clement, he's banged up. Ajayi, he's banged up. But we got to find a way to find balance in this offense.
And yeah, balance is the key. And I honestly I know they're dealing with injuries, but I still don't think it's an excuse to not run the football because. When you have a guy in Wendell Smallwood, out of all people, averaging over 7 yards a carry, Josh Adams is averaging over 5, it's very evident that whoever you put back there, you're going to run the football because your offensive line generates a lot of push. I don't get why they're only running it 37% of the time right now. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's something that needs to change immediately. And I know the Vikings have a good run defense. I don't care. It's the best run blocking O-line in the league. I don't care who's opposing them. You run the ball. You do not let the defense dictate what you do when you do something that's better than anybody else does it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what there's not a better way to take the pressure, get that momentum for that offensive line. It seems like well, good, everything else becomes into that rhythm. So, yeah, they got it. They can't let Carson throw 50 times a game. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what else?
I expect that to change. Huh?
You know what else is happening this year?
What?
They are not being successful in the red zone at this point in time. This has been a problem for the Eagles so far. So last year, they were pretty much number one in red zone offense. Carson Wentz was just a machine. This year, they're 18th. So 57.14% on the efficiency rating there. It hasn't been as pretty scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Yeah. Well, did you see like the set of plays there? It's like before the half and in overtime. The plays that they ran in the red zone to me made no sense at all. And at one point, I think you had a 3rd and 6 in overtime. You could have gotten another first down, or it was 3rd and goal. I can't remember, but instead of using one of your 2 timeouts to get the right, run a play to Matthews out in the back of the end zone where Carson just had to throw it away. There was no chance. I thought they could have run the ball more in the red zone. They could have had, a little bit better play calls. You know what I mean? They could have put Alshon in the slot, Ertz down there. There was just nothing. I just didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, this show, for whatever reason, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's on my end or on your end, but hopefully the people can see it. So the thing I want to ask you is this. Are the coordinators making a difference here? Because obviously, I'm trying to remember, too, off the top of my head, if it was Reich who had – I think it was Reich who was in charge of the red zone. I don't know if it was him or DiFilippo. But one was in charge of third down. The other one was in charge of red zone. Right now, the red zone numbers are not even close to what they were last year. And some of the play calling, I mean, we're seeing some of the same play calling, but it is actually a little bit different. When they were like between the 15 and the 20, they'd always hit Ertz on the seam. And we saw that with Dallas Goedert on a play earlier this year. So we're seeing some of that. When they're inside the 5, they like to do a lot of shifting, and we're still seeing a lot of that. They like to get the tight ends involved in the red zone. I guess the one thing that still needs to happen is Alshon and Wentz. They need to connect on that back shoulder. They did do it on a play on Sunday, but in terms of actually getting into the back corners of the end zone, they still need to work on that. But it's coming along, but I'm not seeing the same explosion as last year right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it remains to be seen. Is it the coaches? Is it the guys that we lost? I don't know. To be honest. Because we got to remember, we're still getting guys back.
Yep.
So much everybody's flow. I think it's too early to know. But for whatever reason, we are struggling.
Yeah, let's wait until midway through the season.
Yeah, because who knows? They could come out and Wentz and Alshon, they could all be hot, run the ball. They have 3-4 possessions in a red zone, and it'll make a big difference statistically because it's only been 4 games.
Yeah.
So,
because last year, I mean, obviously, they just overwhelmed people. I mean, like when you're scoring touchdowns and not field goals, I mean, and you're up like 21-3, that's just demoralizing for an opposing team. I mean, they were just going down the field, up and down the field, and scoring touchdowns at will. That's what the Eagles did last
year. Yeah, I know. We don't know what it is yet. It could be a lot of things. So, I mean, we'll see. I think that. I expect this team offensively to start scoring points this week. I think they are going to score Minnesota. Question is can they keep Minnesota from scoring a lot on them? Because I think Minnesota can score points. And it really depends what kind of Kirk Cousins you get. Kirk Cousins could be fantastic. Or he could stink the place up. You just don't know. And we've seen both of him.
Yeah, it does seem like they are better. Kirk is better coming to Philly. He's got good numbers when he's at the link. So I will say this. I mean, I think they're going to bring it offensively, man. Like that Rams game, they looked explosive. Like they did. It's their defense right now that's kind of holding them back. So you got the explosive playmakers in Thielen and Diggs. You got to stop them. If you're the Eagles, obviously, it's all about that penetration.
That's what it is.
You
know it. We're going to see. I mean, we got no Derek Barnett this week, which worries me a little
bit.
Josh Sweat's going to play.
Because he was coming along the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and now it's going to play. I don't know how he's going to do. It's interesting to see, but that does concern me. Are they going to put Are they going to put Bennett more on the outside this game too? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to see, but we need to get to the quarterback because I don't think we.
Yeah, and you look at their offensive line right now. It's they made strides last year. They went from being like a shitty offensive line to last year. I want to say that they were maybe good. I wouldn't say they were great. Maybe good. Maybe they were average. But this year they're back to being below average, and they're dealing with some injuries. Pat Elflein I believe he's coming back this week. Riley Reef is their left tackle. He had a huge year for them last year, but he hasn't been as great this year. And you look at the rest of their line. I mean, Tom Compton is their left guard. He's not anything special. Mike Remmers is just meh. I mean, he's bounced around the league. He's their right guard. Rashad Hill is their right tackle. If there's a week for the defensive line to get going, it's this week. I know that Kirk can sometimes, really get the ball out quick, and they have DiFilippo, so I'm sure they're going to have a game plan in place for that. But this is not a good line. And if the defensive line can't get going this week at home, I mean, when are they going to get going? Because this is the week for it. It's right now, tomorrow, 4:30, Lincoln Financial Field. Get it revved up.
Yeah, they need to start their run now. They need to go on that 8-9 game run. They really do. And it needs to start now. I think this is the game that will propel them. I think if they beat Minnesota, I think they will want. What I want to ask you one thing. DiFilippo in Minnesota knows Carson. Do you think that will impact this game at all?
You're talking about DiFilippo?
Knowledge of Carson.
Oh, okay.
What Carson's weaknesses are.
What might happen is they might get Carson on a play or two where he gets picked off because he's tricked defensively.
Yeah.
That might happen. Other than that, I don't know how much they could really do. That's where it comes back to. It's like baiting him into an interception because one of his weaknesses or something.
Right.
That's what I would look at with that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
By the way, I also have third down numbers, and this is another. So red zone and third down. These were two things that the Eagles dominated in last year. They were first. Obviously. But right now, in terms of third down percentage, they are tied for 17th. They're only converting 40% of third downs. The Indianapolis Colts are number 1. The Los Angeles Rams are number 2. And the Eagles are down 17th. So there's that, too. And I think with that, it's the offensive line because what's happening is they're not gaining positive yards on first and second down. What's happening is you're seeing holding penalties. They're getting behind the sticks, and when it's third down, it's 3rd and 10 plus or something. And the thing is I know you could say they were converting third and longs last year, but the line hasn't been as dominant and not keeping Wentz upright consistently. So and even when they do, Nelson Aguilar lets the ball hit him right in the goddamn plastic.
Well, and that's the kind of stuff that kills your momentum. When it's 3rd and 21 and he throws a perfect pass. That's the kind of stuff that gets your team going, that gets you into a rhythm. And then when you drop it, you go off the field, then you have to wait to come back. It screws everything. Aguilar was really bad last week. Really bad. I mean, he just was not. As soon as Jordan Matthews comes back, he gets brick hands too. It can't happen. He better have a big game tomorrow. He should be motivated to show that he's not back to 2016 Aguilar because I can't take it. And if he plays bad all year, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want him back. He's against the cap next year. You could cut him for nothing. I let him walk.
I wouldn't disagree. If he's playing like this, I wouldn't disagree. Just go draft a receiver. You have 11 draft picks for fuck's sake. Go get one.
I expect Aguilar to improve. I expect him not to have another game like that. I expect Aguilar to have a really good year. So
I'm looking at that swimsuit model of his. She's the key to his success. Rub his head.
Women, weakened legs.
Yes.
Women, weakened legs.
Yes.
He should go all season with nothing. and then he can spend the whole offseason do whatever he wants. But during the season, no, he should be aggressive and mad and pissed. That's what I think.
She needs to hold him in her arms and rub his head.
Which one?
Oh man. Oh, that's funny.
I got you blushing.
Which one? Oh, I don't even know what to talk about now. I'm done.
No.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah. Big
okay.
game, bro. This is it, man. And I think this is the turning point. I hope so. And if we lose the world, but I'm not gonna have. This will probably impact my confidence. I'm not gonna lie. I would be worried about this team. I think last week, okay, you should have won 4-15, okay, but I come out and dominate this team. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I do think the Eagles' offense is going to get it going this week.
Yeah. And this was the point in the season last year where the offense got it going. It was week 5. It was Arizona. That was Carson Wentz's first 3-touchdown game as an Eagle. And that's when they started just beating up on everybody. And that kind of goes back to this thing. It's like they say that the first month of the season is like the preseason now. And I'll tell you what, there has not been good football the first month. Like the only game that I was really like excited about was that Rams-Vikings game. But a lot of these other games, they're just not well played. I'm not seeing good football being played at the moment. And we're seeing this the last couple of years with practices getting limited and then kind of cut out. And I'm just not seeing good football out there. The Rams are playing good football, give them that. But like, I'm not seeing the art. I'm seeing a lot of and just ugliness and shittiness and just not good football being played around the league. And I think now that you're in the second month of it, it's like now some of these teams are going to start playing better, I think, because that's just the way it works.
Well, sorry that we're behind the 8 ball with it because 4 preseason games, he didn't play the first 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
Alshon only played 1 week. I mean, how long does it take for these guys to really get it going? And the thing with the Rams is the Rams look so that the only thing they have to worry about is they're peaking too early.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah.
Too early.
Sometimes when you peak this early, it doesn't last at the end of the year. So we have to keep an eye on that for sure. But
because
they need to get it going.
Sorry, I kind of cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
So kind of what happens is this: it's like all you need is that one defensive coordinator, that one game plan, and then you might get figured out. Like I don't know how many times I've seen this now where Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they get off to a hot start. They're doing it again. And then by the end of the season, Andy Reid gets figured out. And like we saw this in 2010 with Michael Vick and how explosive the Eagles were offensively. And then that Vikings game happened. And then the way that they were corralling Michael Vick, they were, oh God, who was it that was coming off the edge? Their nickel cornerback kept coming off the blitz. And I forget what his name was. And I
forget.
Great player. I'm blanking right now. But that was the game plan, and that was the blueprint. And then all of a sudden, the Eagles struggled offensively the rest of the year. And there you go. They lost in the wild card round to the Packers. We see this every year with the Chiefs. I mean, like I said, and we'll see about the Rams. I mean, are they going to be able to consistently do this throughout the year? So that's why what Doug Peterson did last year was like so awesome. That the fact that like he was able to change his whole offense around for the postseason. And obviously what happened in the postseason, these defenses had no idea how to attack the offense. And Doug, that's the reason why Doug was able to be one step ahead of defenses in the postseason, because he switched it up. He did something that he didn't do all year.
And that's what really won me over with Doug was that ability to switch things up. That's when I said, this guy's a really good coach. What he did was genius. But he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something tomorrow. You know, I just think more balance. I think adding more balance into the offense with the running game, take the pressure off of Carson. I think that's the way you got to go. I really do.
I'm with you there. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. We're gonna make predictions on the game.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go check out the chat, and we're gonna answer some questions.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
I love it. I love it. You want to go first, or want me to go first?
You go first, so I can pull
All
up.
right. So I think this is the game the Eagles get it together. I think the Eagles are going to come out. I think they're going to play hard, and everybody's going to expect the desperate Minnesota team to come out and win a must-win situation. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Eagles are going to come out. I think Carson's going to have a big game. I think the Eagles are going to win 35-20, and I think it's going to be a late touchdown for Minnesota to even get the 20. I think the Eagles are going to dominate this game. I just got that feeling. Now, maybe that's because of what happened last year in the NFC Championship game. Maybe it's because I want to destroy the Vikings like nobody else. But that's what I'm saying. 35-20 Birds.
Yeah. All right. I've got 27-23. I also think this is the game that Eagles kind of get going here. You know what we forgot to talk about? But we can kind of talk about it right now. The fact that the Vikings are 1-2-1 and how that scares us more than if they were 3-1. So they're desperate too. They're as desperate as we are right now. And it's a game where I really don't know what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was if they beat Tennessee last week, I would have picked Minnesota because I don't think they would have made the adjustments that were necessary. But because of what happened last week, I think they're going to come into this game a little bit pissed off and with motivation. But I think they win it. So I'm in the chat now, and EDP has picked the Vikings. He's got 60-33 Vikings.
Oh, he's killing me. You're killing me.
So somebody is asking a question for me. All right, so Gene St. Fort asks, "Hey Adrian, do you think we are missing Brent Selleck for his tight end blocking and wide receiver deep threat to get this offense moving?" Here's what I'll say about the Brent Selleck thing, because Dallas Goedert right now is playing the Brent Selleck role. Dallas Goedert can block. He's kind of can block. He's learning how to do it, but he should be in the Trey Burton role. He should be catching passes, and that's my thing right now. And they're missing Brent Selleck because they don't have anybody else that can block.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening. And they're trying it with Goddard, but like, dude, we know that he can catch the ball. Let him catch the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, Selleck was a great blocker, but I don't think that is the only reason why our offensive line is struggling, because we don't have Brent Selleck. That is not why.
Yeah.
There's other things going on there, and I think part of it is when you drop back 50-something times in a game, the defensive line has more chances to get to your quarterback. Run the ball, get a rhythm, get it going, and I think that fixes a lot of the problems.
Yeah. Somebody's asking, Jalen Mills or Bradley Fletcher? Who you got?
Jalen Mills.
It's not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
No.
Let's see. We will see how the Rams handle pressure in the playoffs. I would bet my life savings Rams fall short of a Super Bowl win.
Could be.
That was Joe Thomas. So I want to shout people out. Sometimes I feel, I'm sorry. Who is on the outside, Aguilar or Matthews? You know, Matthews has been taking snaps on the outside, and dude, let me tell you something, man. Like, I love Doug Peterson. I appreciate him for doing what he did last year in the Super Bowl. But I keep it real here on the Bitter Birds, and some of the things I'm seeing this year, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, and this is one of these things. Like, you bring in Jordan Matthews, and you're having him on the outside. Like, you knew that this was going to be a problem coming in, that Aguilar was the inside guy. So it's like you made this signing, and it's like, and I don't want to hear that he scored a touchdown last week. Like, come on, stop it with that.
Well, the thing is when they brought him in, if you remember the first week they brought him in, they need a wide receiver desperate. So they wanted to bring him in for a week. At least I thought you bring him in for a week, he knows the play is okay. But when you put him in the slot and you put Aguilar on the outside, you created two problems. You created an extra problem.
Yeah.
So now they're fixing it and putting Nelson back on the inside. But you need a speed receiver. I would give Shelton Gibson a chance on the outside before I would give Jordan Matthews. And I look, I like Jordan Matthews. I respect him, but I don't think the type of receiver he is fits for what we need. I think we need to get either Shelton Gibson a chance or go out and get a receiver. I just do.
Go out and get a receiver, huh?
You got no choice.
Go out and get a receiver, huh?
Yeah.
Go out and get a receiver, huh? No. Not even going to mention his name.
Yeah, I know.
Not even going to do it. Not even going to do it. All right. Let's see. Got to pound the rock. Got to keep the momentum going. Deuce Staley can't switch running backs after a solid run, says Tyler Yeager, powerlifter. Adrian, can Carter be our number 2 to stretch the field now that Nelson is in the slot? It seems like Carter to me is more like that quick, jittery type in the slot, though, because he's like a 5 guy.
Yeah. I was impressed with him returning punts, though. I thought that was nice to see.
Yeah. I got a question for because I know there's a Vikings fan in the chat, Nick Diaz. He's a guy that likes to troll my channel. So I want you to keep it real with me, man. How are you feeling about this game? Because the Vikings are not good this year. Well, I'm curious to see what he says.
I assume that they're probably pretty nervous too.
Yeah. Well, somebody made the mention for me. So Jay the Goat says, "Y'all see what Gordon is doing in New England? That could have been us in all points in all capital letters."
Dude, I texted you as soon as they threw that touchdown. Brady threw that touchdown. Him.
All you texted me was red snort emojis. That's it. That's all you need.
Dude, that was a missed opportunity. There's no question about it. They missed an opportunity to bring somebody in that would have fit that spot perfect. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's going to be like Randy Moss now. Watch.
Sean Fitzpatrick, FedQ, where is Dallas Goedert? I think it's where he's. I don't think it's Dallas Goedert. I think it's how he's being used.
Yeah.
I think it's he's being used as more of a blocking type, and I think he needs to be a receiver. But they don't have a tight end that can block. So that's that was one of my things coming into the year, man. I was like, who's there going to be the guy that can block? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I guess Doug Peterson has a plan. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and they don't have a tight end that can block. And because of that, Dallas Goedert is forced to do something that he shouldn't really be having to do.
Yeah, I know. And they use Perkins in that Trey Burton role a lot more. I'm not a fan of Perkins.
Oh, my God. Yes, please. Cut him already. Oh. EDP checks in. He says, you see the way DeAndre Carter returned that punt? He shook that bitch and said, get off me.
Yeah, he did.
LT asks, do we expect Maddox to be better than Graham?
I don't know. Maddox at the safety spot really concerns me.
The safety spot as a whole concerns me. Jim Schwartz needs to start making the adjustments. I talked about this yesterday. It's like they play a cover 3 defense. That's what they like to do. And the thing about a cover 3 is you put 8 men in the box, right, to stop the run. Well, when you have the best defensive line in football, even though they're not playing like the best defensive line in football, but when you have the best run-stuffing defensive line in football, put 7 in the box and keep an extra safety back there. Help out Jalen Mills. Come on, Jim. Come on, Jim. Come on, Jim.
I know. It's just brutal. It's brutal. I agree. I still think, and I know Schwartz came out and said that he doesn't think Rasul Douglas should play safety or would fit. I think he is the perfect guy to play safety because I don't think he's the fastest corner, but he's a ball hawk. He has a nose for the ball. I would put him there. That's just my opinion. I think Rasul Douglas can play safety, and I think he would do it good.
All right, so Nick Diaz does check in, and he actually keeps it real, so I actually appreciate this. It's win or go home. Biggest game of the season for the Vikes. Hard to win at the Wink, but Cousins and DeFilippo will come to play. If Vikes lose, we don't make the playoffs. Here's what I'll say. If you lose, I don't think that necessarily means you don't make the playoffs. But what I will say, it's because you're in the NFC. It fucking sucks because if you're in the AFC, one, what would they be? They'd be 1-3-1. If you're 1-3-1 in the AFC, you'd probably still make the playoffs. To be honest,
I think they could probably make it as a wild card. I don't know if they could win the division at
yeah,
1-3-1, but you know,
I mean, you'd have 2 games against Chicago, right?
Yeah.
So like,
So
if you
yeah.
place, that can get you a wild card.
I mean, me and you know the truth of the matter is this, Adrian. No matter what, I mean, September, October is not when you win Super Bowls. It's November, December, January. That's when you have to get it going. So even if the team is struggling in October, it can be turned around. But 1-3-1 is tough. It's tough.
Nick checks back in. If the Eagles play a cover 3, Vikes win. All the Eagles have to do is run and play action. You should win this game. I think they will win this game, but we'll see. You know. Well, I appreciate you for keeping it real because, like, I like when people get into like the troll mode, like I can't take it seriously, but because I like keeping it real on here.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
Are you guys scared of Seattle? Why does it seem like we always play them in Seattle? I am not scared of Seattle at all.
No, I'm not. We don't go to Seattle this year at all, right?
I don't think we do. Who do we play in the? Yeah, because we play the Rams this year in the AFC West or NFC West. So
play the Rams.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. EDP wants to see what Trey Sullivan can do because he's a fucking bruiser. He says.
As long as he doesn't, as long as Trey Sullivan's not on special teams, fine. Just keep him away from special teams.
Howie Roseman is asking who we want him to trade for. You know, Howie, I wanted you to trade for Josh Gordon, all right? And you fucked that up.
You know who I want. And it's not even no and ifs or buts. Go get him. Le'Veon Bell. Okay. I want him. I believe it. I look, I'm not big into going and getting trading big for running backs and stuff, but there's certain guys that I think are so dynamic, you got no choice. That's who I want. So Howie, get it done.
Howie Roseman checks back in. He says, sorry, boys.
Fire him. Thanks, Howie.
All right, three-way productions says something really nice. He says, shout out to the Bitterbirds and Philly 500. These guys are the truth, so I really appreciate that, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you.
There was a question from Spunky 1991 that I saw. Hold on, because I want to give him a shout. I like Spunky.
Yeah, Spunky, what's up, buddy?
Do you think a big move is coming before the trade deadline?
I do.
I think you might have already.
Yeah, I think that they got. I think there is. I expect Howie to do something. I think he's itching to do something. It's just a matter of what. And you know, I think the Le'Veon Bell stuff is real. I think the Eagles are at least very interested because there's just too much. There's too much smoke there. Whether they get him or not, that's a whole different story, though. But I think the Eagles are itching to do something. But it's got to be at the deadline. It's going to be at the trade deadline.
Yeah. Nick Diaz, I'll keep it real, Bitterbirds. I'll drop a super chat donation if the Eagles win, but if the Vikes win, you got to do a skull chant and no Foles chant. I'll do a skull chant, but I'll just make it sound like it's Foles.
Yeah, that's your bet, buddy.
Let's see. What do we got? Okay, so somebody's asking about Graham. So are we benching Graham for Maddox? So here's what's going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen. This doesn't mean I'm going to be right, okay? But I think Jim is going to smarten up this week. So here's the thing. So Rodney McLeod's out now. This cover 3 bullshit, it's not going to work because nobody can play the single high roll. They tried to play Corey Graham in a single high roll, and they also played some of this cover 2 robber defense, and it just didn't work. Just didn't work. So what they have to do is this. They have to take away the single high safety. They have to try and figure out, put two safeties back there. Maybe you put, Jenkins, kind of slide him around as a linebacker. You do the three safety look that you played last year a lot, and you kind of put Corey Graham and Avonte Maddox as your two safeties. I mean, I agree with you about Rasul Douglas. It seems like he could play safety, but it seems like they're content on putting Maddox out there, so that's why I'm saying him over Douglas. Even though I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully
he's great.
Yeah, so basically what I think is going to happen is Corey Graham, he got 71 snaps last week. That'll probably be cut in half. And we're going to have more Avonte Maddox. So we're basically just going to – maybe they just keep experimenting with stuff until something works. That's probably what's going to happen.
Probably, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. All right. So somebody checks back in for the Seattle thing. We played Seattle and Seattle for the last 4 times we played them. Just saying, we lost to them too. But we don't play them this year. But I don't have them making the playoffs. But here's the thing: 4 of the last 5 times in Seattle, I agree with you. I used to be petrified about going to Seattle. Yeah. But that Super Bowl winning defense, Earl Thomas isn't there anymore. Richard Sherman isn't there anymore. Michael Bennett isn't there anymore. I mean, all these guys are gone. They're not. Yeah. This isn't Seattle anymore. I mean, this Seattle team this year, I don't even think they go 6-10 or whatever. I have them having a good record this year. They are not the same Seattle team. They've got no offensive line. They haven't drafted well in years. That team is it's very, very bad right now.
Agreed. They're nothing without Russell Wilson either. They wouldn't even have a win if it wasn't for Russell Wilson.
Howie Roseman wants me to come be their wide receiver. My explosiveness off my release is just not there the way it used to be when I was younger. A torn ACL has derailed my career, fortunately. So you may not want me, but I'll tell you what, I might be quicker than Jordan Matthews.
I think you are. I think you are.
Yeah. I'll tell you where I could probably play. They'd probably stick me in New England somewhere and have me work. Yeah, I'm pasty enough to fit in.
Yeah, sure.
Well, look like a jar of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the Wes Welker, the Julian Edelman, that possession.
There you go. I can see it now. I can see it now.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're gonna do final thoughts, and we're going to end the show. It was nice to do questions again. That's something that we haven't done in a while, and I've been lazy. Yeah. So I apologize. I haven't been looking at the chat as much as I should. Final thoughts. What are you thinking?
Big game tomorrow. Very excited about it. I'm going to say I think this is when this team turns their season around. So I expect tomorrow's going to be a pretty good day.
Okay. All right. FedQ chimes in. Oh, my God. Listen to me. EDP chimes in. He says FedQ is a tight end.
There you go.
Tight end. Yeah. You know what? I'll be a tight end. I'll block pitches. Right?
Yeah. Right on.
All right. My final thought, I mean, here's what it is. If the Eagles don't win tomorrow, they're probably not going to repeat. And that's the truth. Because what's going to happen is they're going to fall too far behind in the standings. And in terms of getting home field advantage, it's going to be difficult. If they're a 3 seed, I don't think they can repeat. I don't think this defense travels. If they have to play like a Green Bay on the road, I'd be worried about that. If they have to play whoever, like New Orleans on the road, I'd be worried about that. So this is a game you got to win. You got to get at least a 2 seed if you want to repeat. That's what it is. So maybe this game can kind of change things around. Again, it's a crossroads for both teams. We'll see what happens. That's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fedke. Thanks for tuning in today, guys, on a Saturday. Nobody ever watches on a Saturday afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. See ya.